All right, go ahead.
Today is June 3, 2020, and this is the Bugzilla Project meeting. I'm the project leader, Dave Miller. The meeting is going to be really short today, and it's also being late because we had a little bit of technical difficulties with Zoom. But we had some things planned, exciting things planned for today's meeting because we've actually had a lot of things going on the last few weeks with regards to the Harmony port, getting the Bugzilla stuff, the Mozilla, getting Mozilla stuff and Red Hat stuff into the Harmony branch. And we've got two people that were involved in working on that primarily that we were hoping to have talked to you about that today. And both of them had things come up and couldn't get here. So we're at a loss of what to talk about now. But that's what the main big news is. We've had a couple other people step up to help volunteering this last month, and we've had a lot of activity on both the user interface front and getting additional stuff ported from the old Bugzilla 5 into the Harmony branch, which is what used to be Mozilla's Bugzilla. So we've definitely made a lot of progress towards having Bugzilla 6 ready, and it might be ready pretty soon. And the other big news is that this last month, Red Hat open sourced all of their changes to Bugzilla that they made over the last several years. And so they were hoping to cherry pick some of their stuff to get it into the Bugzilla as well. And
you're welcome.
Hello. And there's Neil. He's the person to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, no, pushing that for at least a couple of years now, just off and on. And then finally, I actually wanted it for something. So now, so they obliged. So here we go.
And we appreciate it a lot. So.
Yeah. Hopefully it will help make Bugzilla even better.
Yeah. And so like I was saying, besides the Red Hat stuff getting open sourced, we've had a couple more volunteers working on user experience. And there's just been a heck of a lot of stuff happening the last couple of weeks. It's been really exciting for me to see it all happening. And we're missing Dylan and LCP to talk about the stuff they've been working on. So, hopefully we can get them to talk about it more next month. If you take a look at the GitHub repository, you can see there's been a ton of commits lately. That's very cool. And so I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to revamp the CI containers and like the build process for all of that to be slightly more modern. So, and also slightly more reproducible.
Yeah.
I hear those words are good words. So
yeah. So I don't know really what else to say. If anybody else has anything to bring up or questions or anything, otherwise I think we're done for today.
Well, thank you all for being so accommodating, I guess.
Yeah. Well, thank you as well for pushing that through.
Well, it's my pleasure. I like helping open source projects that actually help make open source better. So, and Bugzilla is certainly one of those.
I'm looking at the open source Red Hat Bugzilla bug in bugzilla.redhat.com. And I just realized it was reported back in 2009. So it's over 10 years old.
Yes.
And
Red Hat did this once before in 2008.
Yeah. So they created that bug when they realized that there was at no point they were going to reconcile their code base back into mainline Bugzilla.
And it forks that much in a year because they'd already released it all back to Bugzilla in 2008.
Yeah. And because of all of that, they just it turned into a mess. And so they were like, well, we rebased and we've made this worse now. And at this point, I think we have no hope of integrating this back into Bugzilla as is. So we should just get it out there and start that effort independently. Because I think the original plan Red Hat had was no, I don't work for Red Hat. It's just I talk to a lot of them. I think the original plan that they had was they'd get instead of having a separate project, they would integrate their changes back into the upstream project as they were making them in a way that would be relatively self-contained, easy for different installations to turn off and on. And it didn't work out that way for them, like at all. I think the bigger part was like when they like the whole auth and some of the bug tracking federation features that they built into Red Hat Bugzilla just wound up being a rather invasive set of changes, and that probably changed way more of it than what would have probably been acceptable with the Bugzilla people at that time back then.
Mm-hmm.
But now everybody wants these nice things. So
yeah, it's amazing what several years and a change of half of the personnel will make.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the killer features for me that I would like to see come from Red Hat Bugzilla to mainline are the multi-provider authentication stuff. The single sign-on feature in the Red Hat Bugzilla is really nice. And I want to see the external bug tracking stuff. Like people have bugs that link out to other Bugzilla instances or other different types of bug trackers. And that stuff can have like basic state information. It can at least have a link to it and whatever, so that you know what's going on like across disparate, whatevers. And that's a very useful feature if you're tracking, like, say, hey, your project has a dependency on this thing, but this thing is not managed in your Bugzilla instance. Here's a link you can track this bug. This is a feature that Jira has that I've only ever seen in Red Hat Bugzilla other than Jira. Like, so if it's not Jira, it's only Red Hat Bugzilla. So it'd be nice to see that in Bugzilla proper.
Yeah. That's something I wanted for a while too.
Not only is the feature nice to have, but the UI is pretty well done.
Yeah. It's actually gone through a few iterations, like between Red Hat Bugzilla 3, 4, and 5. I think the version that we've got now in Red Hat Bugzilla 5 is actually the nicest that it's been so far. So somebody really thought about it and like made it reasonable. Like the previous one is it stuffed it into the related bugs area and then just kind of sat there. It was not quite as obvious how you would track those. And the states didn't update very well. But now this has this like external trackers block, and it's really well done.
Yeah, it was my understanding that's what the C also stuff was supposed to be for in the upstream Bugzilla, and nobody ever finished putting all the pieces together.
Yeah.
So.
And the fun part will be trying to extract out what belongs to that and what doesn't, since it's all one blob.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one.
It's unfortunate, but at least it's better having it out now as opposed to never having it.
Right, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
That was the extent of the private conversation that I had with Jeff Fern. He was saying that the struggle has been like actually going through the commit history and figuring out whether we can actually release any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, look, man, I don't care. Just really, as long as it's like applied on top of mainline Bugzilla, then we can see the delta. It's fine. Like, it's better than nothing. And like, if we're for OpenSUSE, I'm pushing for us to consider adopting that instance to upgrade from SUSE's screwed up Bugzilla 4 instance to a copy of Red Hat Bugzilla 5. And maybe for Bugzilla 6, we talk about like having be on the mainline Bugzilla code base. Because now that's a possibility. And this is why I was like, just I don't care. Just get it out there so that we can start looking at it, and maybe we can do something useful with it after the fact. Perfect is the enemy of the good and all that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's out there now, because I said I don't really care about the history. I mean, I personally do care about the history, but like, I don't care so much to let it like linger for another decade.
Yeah.
No, agreed.
So I mean, hopefully you guys have like started taking a look at that and seeing what the grab bag of goodies you can get out of it will be. It should help that it's actually just applied as a giant diff on top of mainline. So that at least makes it somewhat, even though it's a massive diff, at least it's a somewhat comprehensible understanding of the changes.
Mm-hmm. I haven't looked at it myself yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has.
I know LCP looked at it a little bit.
I was going to say that the people that are most likely to have looked at it aren't on the calls.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not afraid of video calls. So I actually like them. I prefer them because it's easier to get people's attention and talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm not
So is
going
this
to
the
argue
thing
if
you
somebody
guys
wants
do?
to be face mute the whole time.
So is this the thing you guys just do regularly? Like, do you have like a calendar or a rotating invite or something that I can subscribe to?
It's first Wednesday of every month. There is a Google Calendar. If you go to bugzillaupdate.wordpress.com, it's got the calendar linked over on the right-hand side.
Bugzilla Update?
Yep.
.wordpress.com?
Yep.
Okay. And then you say, where is it?
And it's it doesn't actually link the calendar, but it has the next event on the calendar there. It's that upcoming events block.
Okay.
Is
there a way to subscribe to that for Google Calendar?
Yeah, it should be. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, it's on the wiki. The wiki.mozilla.org/bugzilla:meetings.
Okay.
There's where it says.
Oh, there we go. I see it.
Says where the next meeting will be, or add to your Google Calendar. There's a link there.
Excellent. And it says it cannot find the requested event. That's awesome.
Oh, maybe I need to regenerate that link. Okay.
Well, I mean, at least we debugged this live.
Yeah. How do I get a new link to that calendar? Settings and sharing. Okay, well, I'll get that updated on the wiki in a few minutes anyway. No reason to hold up the call while I live debug it.
Well, at least you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else from anybody else, or is it just going to be me and you just talking like this?
Would it be helpful to Dylan if we moved the meeting time and date? It's been a while since I saw him in the meetings.
I was wondering that too.
I have no idea what time zone the guy is in.
So he's U.S. Pacific, I think.
I think so too.
So then that means that it's 1:30 for him right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
He might be. Oh, he might still be working.
He is working at this moment in time.
Yeah.
He was going to be home today and was intending to be here, and apparently his air conditioner went to crap or something.
Oh, well then, yeah, I sympathize. I've had that problem before.
And so yeah, the time that it's at right now is we had several people on the core developer team that were in Europe way back in the day. Mm-hmm. And so the time that we're at now is geared towards trying to allow them to get to the meeting.
I mean, it's not that bad for me either. I mean, 4:00 in the afternoon Eastern time ain't that bad.
Yeah, I'm Eastern time also.
Oh, good. Stasiak lives like he's on Eastern time, but actually he's in Poland. So I have no idea what's up with him, and health-wise, that allows him to pull that off.
I've been living on Pacific time for years anyway, even though I'm in Eastern. So
Well, I mean, I had to get used to not being on Central Time, but that's way easier because it's only a 1 hour difference.
Because I used to work for Mozilla since back when they only had the one office in California, and so all the people I was reporting to and working with were all in Pacific Time. So it was just easier to stay on Pacific Time myself, and never got out of the habit over the years. But now I don't work there anymore, and I still stay on that time zone.
So where do you work now?
I don't.
Oh, that's not great.
Yeah. So
you need a job then.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I could get you one, but I'll try to see if I can.
Got a few prospects, but nothing's actually given a firm offer yet. So.
Okay. You're on LinkedIn, right?
Yep.
Let's see if I can find you. Help it. Oh, that's a remarkably bad way to do this. David Miller is a very common name. All right, I'm going to give you a link to your LinkedIn at some point.
I think my LinkedIn user ID is just Dave.
So
it's LinkedIn/IN/just Dave.
That would probably help, assuming that it will load.
Yeah, I was part of that group of 70 that was laid off back in January from Mozilla.
Oh, man.
And then,
so that was even before the COVID thing.
Right. And then the COVID-19 happened within a couple of weeks after that, so it kind of killed half the job market.
There we go. Found you. Wow, you don't look like your picture.
Did I not update the picture there yet? Oh, yeah, that's an old picture.
Yeah, I wouldn't have found you if I just tried to search for you. Oh, you're in Michigan. Okay. Well, I'll see if I can maybe squeak something by. And I may hit you up later on LinkedIn once you accept my connect request.
Okay.
Certainly don't want to leave you in the lurch for, all the good things that you do.
There we go. Updated the photo.
Much better. There we go. Now I recognize you.
Yeah, that's much better.
I mean, your old photo made it look like you were somebody out of Computer Chronicles back in the 80s or something. So, which you might have been, but
it was a good look when I was 15-year veteran at Mozilla. So.
So, what about the rest of y'all? Are y'all at least still working, or have you also been laid off?
No, I'm good.
Good.
I work from. I've been working from home for the last 2 months.
I know that story too.
Yeah. And this is actually way better than going to the office every morning and going back every evening.
I miss the people.
I've heard a lot of companies talking about having a lot of their people just stay at home permanently now because it seems to work out.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's a short-term effect because there's still like the whole like lack of social interaction thing that I mean, at least for me, that's been the major minus so far. Is like my social interaction levels have gone down to basically zero.
And that's what worked good when it was at Mozilla because like 2/3 of the company was remote, so everything happened on IRC or then Slack, and so you still got the interaction with people because they had to interact there or you wouldn't.
Yes, exactly.
Even the people in the office, half of their team was remote. So
my team is half remote, and I still don't really see them much, which is basically not great.
Yeah, it takes management saying, you have to get on the chat room.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
And that'll be the difference between the places that stay on it permanently and those that don't, is the ones that figure out how to make that remote social interaction work.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, without the social
way off
interaction.
topic.
Yeah, we're way off topic. But I think also we only had one real topic, and that was covered, one or two real topics, and those were long covered.
Yep.
But thank you, all of you, for for all of this. And I do appreciate that you guys actually, you care about Bugzilla and you're trying to make it better. And I'm trying to do my part to help as well, even though it may not be much.
Appreciate it. Thank you too. So last order of business, the next meeting is going to be July 1st, I think. Yep.
Yep.
And so as far as I know right now, same time, but like we said earlier in the call, we're thinking about changing that. So keep an eye on the wiki. We'll get that updated if we change it. And otherwise, it will be 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. British summertime.
Yay.
And if you look at the details on the calendar event, the 9 p.m. British summertime is actually what it's keyed to in the calendar. So it's off by an hour in April once every year. Or March.
March. That makes sense. Because that's when
it's March. Because March goes to summertime a month before England does.
Yep.
Or the US, whatever. Okay. So I guess that's it. Have a good month. See everybody next month, or we'll see you on. We have a Discord now.
And we have Matrix.
And Matrix. Just the UX channel is on Matrix. And
yeah.
That's the only channel that's bridged between all three, I think.
Yes.
There is a Bugzilla channel on the Discord also, but it's not bridged to the IRC.
Well, if you want LCP to do all the magical bridging,
yeah.
If you want it to happen, LCP can do it. You just gotta, because he's good at it now.
Yeah, we don't have a Bugzilla channel on Matrix, just on Discord and IRC.
Yeah,
and
we should probably add
UX channels on all three.
Yeah, that's my fault. I made it.
I think I tried and said it was already taken or something, but
that's weird.
But it was reserved for something, but I don't know.
Well, that's something to figure out later. And then if we can grab it or have to talk to the Matrix people to fix it, because that might actually be a thing, then we'll see. But yeah, we're everywhere now.
Oh, maybe it was I have a Bugzilla community set up on the Mozilla Matrix.
Oh.
But there's nothing in it. I didn't create the channel yet because I wasn't sure if it would prevent people from joining the channel if they weren't in the community or something.
No, so communities are just flares.
Okay.
So they don't do anything like that. What they do is that
if I create a channel and put it in that community, it's not going to block people from joining it if they're not a member of the community.
Right. It won't do that.
Okay.
Unless you have a really screwed up Matrix server, which I don't know. Your Matrix server might actually be screwed up. It seems to cause problems for people to chat in the Mozilla one seems to have problems for people coming into matrix.org channels occasionally. Saw that with somebody who tried to talk in the Fedora social hour channel from the Mozilla Matrix. Apparently messages weren't pushing through.
Oh, Bugzilla as an alias is already taken.
Oh, well.
But the pound Bugzilla channel is not there, but the alias exists. Okay.
That's weird. Oh, somebody actually has the Bugzilla Matrix channel. It's actually controlled by somebody who says, this is deprecated. Go to Bugzilla on Freenode.
Oh, I thought that was the Bugzilla and IRC that did that.
No. That's weird. I know you. Show up. Come in here anyway.
Is that on Matrix or something? Matrix.org?
LCP just responded, and I'm just like, come in here anyway. Say hi to BZ devs.
Oh, I must be muted. I've been sitting here talking this whole time, and I just suddenly looked and noticed it's got the microphone crossed out on me.
Ah.
Don't know how I did that. Must have bumped it on accident trying to get the window in the front because it's right in that corner.
Mm.
So
Well,
the Bugzilla is on matrix.org. There's not one on Mozilla, so I'm not sure what's got that name reserved on the Mozilla.
yeah.
You can't have a community in a room with the same name because maybe it's the.
That's probably the issue.
Maybe
Although
named the community that.
Does anyone know who owns the Bugzilla channel on Matrix, the Bugzilla room on matrix.org?
Does it tell you who owns it anywhere?
Let's see.
Roles and permissions. Admin at Mozilla IRC. Oh, it's bridge channel from IRC.
But it's listed as deprecated.
Because that's what the topic is on the IRC channel on irc.mozilla.org.
Oh. So confusing.
Except that irc.mozilla.org isn't there anymore.
Well, then
it's free. The Bugzilla channel is on Freenode's IRC.
So this is just broken.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So this is a channel that's bridged to Mozilla's IRC that's not there anymore.
So this probably means that you should reach out to matrix.org to fix this.
Probably.
Well, at least we know what happened here because none of this made any sense.
So I'll poke them and see what I can figure out about it.
Excellent. Once that's figured out, LCP can help make it get properly plumbed through.
Okay.
So that way it works the same way that it does for the Bugzilla UX Devil channel.
Okay.
I think that's basically it. We've more or less run over by another 15 minutes.
Yep. It's the longest Bugzilla meeting we've had in ages, I think. So
it's okay. It's all
probably
good
in a
stuff.
good 5 or 6 years it's been this long.
Well, I don't know what to think about that. Maybe that's good or bad. I don't know.
It's good to have stuff to talk about at the meeting. So
what was most of the meetings like? Hey, we're here. Nobody has anything. Close.
More or less. Recent ones have been, yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So there's been every 3 or 4 months we've had something interesting to talk about. Usually when Dylan actually managed to show up. So
yeah.
Okay.
You all right, Emmanuel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bit sleepy here, but it's closing on 11 p.m. here.
Oh, okay. Well, I think now we're just kind of devolving into this just random chat at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is more small talk than anything else.
Yeah.
yep. So I think we're good now. Nice
Yep.
meeting y'all.
Yeah. Likewise.
Dave,
hmm
I might try to reach out to Frédéric Buclin,
Okay.
who maintains the Mageia Bugzilla,
Mhm.
Ooh.
and see if he wants to talk about Harmony, the Harmony fork.
Okay. And
That'd be
he,
a good thing. It'd be nice to see him again.
and he used to be one of the assistant project leaders for the project years ago.
Yeah, he might not hate me this time.
Okay.
Well-
so, guess that's it.
Yep.
It's I made Jen the host earlier when I had to drop off and reset my Zoom client, and it didn't.
Now
give
you're
it-
listed as co-host.
It didn't give it back to me, so now I can't kick everybody out when I exit. So
Well, you're listed as co-host according to Zoom.
yeah, but if I leave, I just leave. It doesn't give me the choice of saying end the meeting for everybody.
And now you're just the
Now
host.
I'm the host. Yep, there we go. John just gave it back. So okay, so have a good month. So we'll try this again. See you
Bye,
next
all.
month, or around on IRC or on Matrix or Discord. And that's how we
Yep.
got off topic last time. So sayonara.
Bye.